What is up, and welcome to Ready Bet Action. We are excited to talk about some NFL this week. Already NFL Week 7. We're going to dive into some of these games. I feel like we're kind of in the meat of the NFL season now. We kind of know what teams are or are going to be, and it's feeling like you're able to find a lot of value here. I'm excited to do some NFL. I've been doing much better on NFL this year than I have college football, just in my personal betting. So I feel like I've been really seeing this board better. Mike, are you excited about any particular NFL games this week?
Dude, New England, Tennessee, I am super excited about.
Gross.
The Vrabel revenge game the week after Callahan gets fired. Are you
fun.
kidding me? Yeah, no, I'm psyched on that. I'm going to keep riding my high from the Falcons beating the Bills last week and say I'm looking forward to the Niners game Sunday as well. So, yeah, man, there's some fun storylines happening in the NFL. I'm excited to see how they play out.
Love it. Stefan, any exciting things for the NFL? Your Jags are on a bye, I think.
No, we're in London.
Oh, they're
Houston,
in London
right?
this week.
We're playing the Rams in London.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's an exciting game, by the way. I'm excited
Yep.
for that. A game that I'm interested in. I mean, I'm kind of interested in some of these teams coming off a bye, like the Minnesota Vikings. We're going to talk about them in a little bit. Curious what they're going to look like. And just, the constant churn with all these injuries that we're seeing, like, is Puka Nacua going to play? What does that mean for this game? What does that mean for fantasy football, for instance? You mentioned the Patriots. Drake May won me some money in DFS last week. That was super fun.
That dude is balling right now.
Why did I not stack him with Kayshon Boutte? Well, because no one did. But yeah, I haven't set my DFS for this week, but whatever quarterback I have, that will be the game I'm most excited about. I did think it was interesting. Most of the games have pretty low totals this week. There's only a couple that are in the high 40s. Most of them are in the low 40s or high 30s. So scoring maybe down a bit this week, or we're not seeing it, or the odds makers aren't seeing it correctly.
It's not seeing on the lines. Yeah, we will.
Did you stack May with Diggs last week?
I did, unfortunately.
Did you see the softest bullshit offensive pass interference call?
Hell yes, I did on that 50. Well, because we also had Diggs.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so when they called offensive PI, I was pretty upset.
Yeah.
I was pretty upset.
I was at Disneyland and did not see any of this action. I watched the Broncos game at 8:30 in line at a roller coaster, and that's about all I got to see last week. But I'm excited to jump in. We need to all get back on watching all the football this weekend. All right, let's dive right in. Mike, why don't you kick us off? A couple of us we're talking about this Dolphins and Browns game. Ugh. What a gross game to start with. Let's kick it off. Let's kick it off there.
What a gross game to start with, and what a gross team to back, man. Give me the Browns -3.5 at home against the Dolphins. It's simple to me. Judkins has looked so freaking good since he's been there, and Gabriel has been, I guess, serviceable. I don't know if you can call it serviceable. They're going to feed Judkins the ball, and they're simply playing the worst rushing defense in the NFL. We'll talk more about this rushing defense later, but Tua in general has not been good under pressure, and then you go against Myles Garrett and that whole crew, and I think he's going to be shitting his pants the whole week or the whole game. Their defense to stop Devon Achane is going to be something they haven't seen yet this year. And I just don't think they can do enough on the road here. So give me Judkins running the ball down the throat of the Miami Heat offense to take this at least to a 7-point win.
You got a bad number here, Mikey. You can get -2.5 over at DraftKings at -110, or you can just play the money line at -135. Like
just give me that.
So I'm taking Browns money line -135 for all the reasons you just said. Dolphins, I did not get a whole lot right in my futures. I mean, this is going to be a theme today for NFL and college football. Like some of my preseason takes were pretty cold. But my take on the Dolphins was spot on. I told you to take the alt under on their win totals. And part of the reason is they are not going to be able to beat a bad Browns team because the Dolphins themselves are quite bad. So I like this play. I think it's one of those things where what's the best unit on the field is going to be the Browns defense. The worst unit on the field is going to be the Dolphins defense. So like that's two check boxes for the Browns. So yeah, I like this one an awful lot. It is going to feel pretty weird back in the Browns.
Well, I'm going to be big on Judkins this week. I think, look, do I think there's a conspiracy theory that they're trying to make Dylan Gabriel not make mistakes so they don't have to start Shedeur? Yes, that's what I think is happening. I think Gabriel is an extension of the running game. He averaged 4.3 yards per pass, and his longest reception until the last drive of the game was 12 yards. They are not letting him throw down the field, and they don't want him to because they don't want him to make – I'm not saying he would make a mistake, but I think they really just don't want him to do that. So they're pretty much playing a full running attack, right? Like bubble screens, dump offs. Those are all Gabriel is throwing. And the Dolphins are terrible at defending that. So I am all about this too. I do think the Browns get a win, and they don't need to put up a lot of points necessarily to do it. So
no.
The total in this game is like 38.5, 39. Like it's super, super low.
Yeah.
Like
it might take the under. I don't think the Browns did not have a touchdown last week either. So
this game may not hit 20. Like,
yeah,
it could be one of those games.
It could be the Broncos Jets of this week. That was rough. All right. Well, let's move on. I'll give you one of my first picks here. Let's go with I have a single game pick to kick us off. I'm just gonna take the Eagles to beat the Vikings. The only reasoning behind this, and you can get that minus 135. The Eagles are 1.5 point favorites. Vikings have looked pretty up and down. I know they're coming off a bye, but the Eagles are coming off a 10 days rest. Remember, they lost to the Broncos and they turned around and lost 4 days later. I just don't see the Eagles. I don't think a team as quality as the Eagles loses 3 games in a row. And that is my only reasoning behind that. And maybe I'm wrong. They have not looked amazing this year, but I think the Eagles do this every year, and we all think, oh, they're not getting it done, and Hurts really isn't that good. And then all of a sudden, they're totally fine. So I'm just going to back the Eagles here to not lose 3 games in a row.
I actually like Minnesota in this one. I actually thought it was on my card. It's not. But I have played this one personally, not necessarily to win, but with the 2.5 points. I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson and Lil Jordan Humphrey, former Bronco, former Texas Longhorn, just carved up this Eagles secondary, and now you've got Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison coming to town. I'm kind of terrified for this Eagles defense, like to not be able to keep up with Minnesota. I like Minnesota on rest. I think you're right about the Eagles bouncing back at some point this year. I just think maybe it's a couple weeks away. So I disagree with you for once, Eric. So people should probably hit the Eagles.
That's all right. I would be shocked if the Super Bowl champs lose 3 in a row. That's literally, I don't have any data for it. That would just be, I think everyone would be very surprised, and you'll see the panic buttons going off in Philly if that happens.
The same thing was said about Penn State, and they just lost to Northwestern.
And they did it. Yeah, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, why don't you hit us with your next pick?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a little home team parlay here. Give me the Chiefs minus 6.5 against the Raiders with the Broncos on the money line against the Giants. Get it at minus 122. I hate it so much, but the Chiefs are slowly coming back to life. They have looked much better since where they came back, and now they get Rashee Rice back for his first week back from off the suspension. The Raiders, since they lost Brock Bowers, have not scored more than 10 points in a game. And they simply look broken. So I don't see a world in which they can do anything to keep this game close. Broncos, they just had a down game. It came off with a win against the Jets. Granted, it was in London, and those games are always weird. And this Giants team has been fun for 2 weeks with Jackson Dart and Scattaboo, but it's going to come crashing down. Dart has not played a defense this good as Denver's is. They're going to mess them up with a run. They've got the speed to stay with them on a spy. Their secondary is fantastic. I just don't think they can do near enough here on a team that needs a big bounce back week. So, Broncos money line with Chiefs minus 6.5, minus 122.
Yeah, I mean, I think last week, I think I was texting some Broncos friends who were saying how bad we looked. I'm like, guys, look, there's games that all I care about for my team is to get a win, and that is games played on Thursday nights and games played in frickin' Europe. Like, I don't care, man. We won. Move on. I almost just like, you must just throw it away. Like I don't even know if I count that as watching the Broncos and the way they're going to play this season. So
no, and it really seems like they tend to be a bounce back team. When they have a week as bad as last week was, they tend to come back, especially if it's a home game too.
Yep. Yeah, that's about as close to a loss that they're going to feel like they lost the game, but they actually won as they're going to get. So,
yeah,
absolutely.
Week 1 kind of felt like that too against Tennessee, where we won, but it kind of felt dirty.
It did. It felt great. It felt gross.
I got one for you. Let's go Seahawks -3 at home versus Houston. Houston,
I like that.
Houston looked a little bit better in their wins, but those were against really bad teams. Their offense still looks broken. Yes, they have a very good defense. I'm excited to watch Houston secondary try to stop Jackson Smith-Njigba and company. So far, no one's been able to. Like Jackson Smith-Njigba is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL right now, and it's super fun to see. They don't really miss DK Metcalf at this time, which is crazy. Or Tyler Lockett for that matter. That Tyler Lockett touchdown the other week was bananas, by the way.
That was nasty.
So yeah, Seahawks -3 at home. They look like a really good team. And so I think they're a fun team to back at home anyway. Texans are a team that I have been fading most of the year, and I'm happy to be able to do so again in this spot. So we're just going to ride -3 with the home team. I mean, to me, that's saying that this is even like a pick 'em game on a neutral field. I don't think that's right. I think the Seahawks are significantly better than the Texans.
I absolutely agree. I got them. I'm just gonna keep rolling with. I have a money line, a home team money line parlay. I like to give these out every week. They've been pretty successful. Home team money line parlay here. I got the Seahawks as one of the legs of that for all the reasons that Stefan just said. So I will not repeat them. But my second leg is going to be the Chicago Bears, looking much better, man. We were shitting on them, and rightfully so. They looked very bad early in the season, and they've had some more success lately. And most of all, they are playing the New Orleans Saints in Chicago, and Chicago had success in their home game they've played this year. And like, look, man, I said it last week. Look, the Saints beat the Giants now 2 weeks ago. And that means we are good for a solid 3 to 4 weeks to bet against the Saints. I will probably not fade the Saints as much in like a week or two because I start to get worried that they're going to win like a second game at some point in the season. You're like, when's it going to happen? It's the NFL, right? Like they can get 2 or 3 wins. And so I won't be as confident. But right now we're still in the window of let's just bet whoever's playing the Saints. So give me the Bears money line, Seahawks money line gives you the +129. It's just actually pretty juicy, I think, for two teams that I feel really good are going to win. So,
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think on the road, the Saints haven't gotten more than 300 yards of offense. They have not scored more than 20 points in a road game. So, I mean, can the Bears get 20 points? Probably. Oh, yeah. I like that. Yeah.
They've looked fine offensively, at least like the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, I think Luther Bird and Rome Odunze are super fun weapons for Caleb Williams to let loose.
Awesome. Cool. Well, we got 2 more picks. You each have one more for us, right? So, Stefan, why don't you hit us with your single game pick, and then we'll get Mike's to wrap up game picks before we move to player props.
So the Lions looked. You could really see their defensive injuries against the Chiefs last week. They couldn't really slow down that passing game. You mentioned Xavier Worthy being healthy and what he could do. Now the Bucs, they do have another injury to the wide receiver position. I don't think it matters. Forget which one of you guys was saying how much you've kind of 180'd on Baker Mayfield, where you didn't used to like him so much, but now you're a big fan.
That's
Eric?
me.
Yeah.
Big fan. He has no receivers this week, but that's okay.
I don't care. He's playing so well. Give me Bucs +6 on the road at the Lions.
I agree.
I just think the number's too big. I could see the Lions winning. Like if one of you guys told me you had the Lions in a money line parlay, I'm probably not going to fight you very hard on it. But 6 points, I'll take the Bucs.
Dude, yeah, just wait for Kate Otton's lines to come out. There's got to be some juicy little reception props there for this week.
Yep, absolutely. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm going to make my bold statement now. I think the Bucs are going to I think the Bucks might make the NFC Championship game this year. They are looking great. And like they're looking great with a banged up team. So like assuming they get healthy, I will stick with my bold statement that I think they could make the NFC Championship game. We'll see.
I'm not going to fight you.
You're like, I don't like it because they're
Kate
in their
Otton's
division.
line is at 40.5.
What's his reception line?
How receptions
Yeah.
is efforting. I hate how they do receptions on this app. You really have to scroll forever. Someone say something exciting and entertaining while I try to find it.
I'll give
Oh,
you
it's a
my
Monday game, so it's going to be all the way at the bottom too. Give me a minute.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
I'll go and
Mike,
give you
why
my
don't
next
you hit
play.
us with your next pick?
Yeah, I mentioned the Vrabel revenge game. I'm going to take that in one leg of a parlay here. It's a road team parlay. Give me the Patriots minus 2.5 at the Titans, and then give me the Falcons plus 7.5 at the 49ers. Drake May's been absolutely balling, man. He's second in completion percentage, fifth in yards thrown, ninth in touchdowns, and defensively, the Patriots are number 7 in points allowed. This Titans team, they've been struggling. I mean, they just fired their head coach for a reason. They're not going to do enough here. I really love I think the line right now is at 6.5. I love the Pats to cover up to 10. But we've seen weird stuff happen with an interim heads coach's first game. So that's why I'm buying the points here and just taking it to 3. I just think the Vrabel revenge game, I think he's going to just absolutely go ham here. Falcons plus 7.5. Dude, the Niners are just banged up on both sides of the ball. They don't really have an offense right now. We don't know if Brock Purdy's going to play. You obviously don't have Kittle. You don't have Pearsall. You don't have Ayuk. But Caffrey is currently one of the worst rushers in the league, averaging only 3.1 yards a carry. And now they don't have Nick Bosa, nor do they have Fred Warner. The defense isn't going to be able to keep them in this game enough to just let this offense putz it around and still run away with it. But the offense isn't going to be strong enough to put up enough points to just run all over the Falcons here. So I think the Falcons, with the adjustments they've made in the last 2 weeks, they've actually seemed to have a little bit more of a game plan. They're getting play action more involved. Lots more confusion between Bijan and Tyler Algier. I think they do enough here to at least keep it close. I wouldn't be shocked if they pulled out a win here. So give me, those two, and it's at minus 120.
Love that. I love the Patriots. I might just take Patriots minus 6.5 there.
I'm actually going to play both of those straight. I'm going to play the Falcons plus 3, I think it is, and the Patriots too. I like both of those sides.
I want to do that, but I need a massive bounce back in the NFL right now, so I'm just trying to play it as safe as humanly possible.
Well, speaking of bounce backs, Mike, you've had a lot of success in the past with player props. We have a number of player props going for us today. Let's get straight to those.
Hey, Eric, this is me being terrible. Do you mind if we cut to a commercial break real quick?
Yeah.
And we're back.
And we're
awesome.
Back. That's not terrible at all. That's showbiz, baby.
That's how we make our monies. BetterHelp, baby.
Oh, that's awesome. Speaking of monies, we are partnering with RotoViz. That is a great site for you for anything that you can research, like player props, but really like just player stats in general and fantasy football advice. You can use that data for player props as well. Been really fun being with RotoViz this year. Go over and check out RotoViz when you get a chance. All right, let's dive into this. Mike and I share a couple of these picks. We're going to let Mike get started because he has the most. Mike, let's talk about Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah, dude, we already talked about how bad Miami's rushing defense is. They're worst in yards allowed and also worse than EPA per rush. They've allowed over 1,000 rushing yards in 6 games. They just gave up 124 yards to the third string, Kamani Vidal. Fantasy owners, don't get too excited. He played the Dolphins, and that's not going to happen every week. I'm sorry, myself included. And then Dowdle ran for over 200 on him 2 weeks prior. Judkins is just going to absolutely tear this team apart. It's at his rushing total is at 84.5. It's a lot, and I ain't scared to take it. So give it to me. I think he clears 100 here at minus 110. And then I'm going to double down on him and also take an anytime touchdown. Get that at plus 125. He hasn't scored in 3 weeks. He's due, and this is the perfect matchup for him to get it. And then he's going to follow this up and not get this number any cheaper or any better than it is now. So go ahead and get it while you can.
Yeah, I'll double up on the Judkins touchdown, and I will leave it at that for all the reasons that we have already said. Let's move over. I'm going to take
Real
Broncos,
quick.
man. Give me. Oh,
Real
sorry.
quick,
Go ahead.
just want to say Judkins is only 6K in DraftKings, so definitely someone that you want to put in your lineups this week.
Oh, yeah.
He's like the 7th most expensive running back, so I think he might be pretty chalky, but he's probably worth it. That's it. Sorry.
Absolutely. All right. Give me Bo Nix over 218.5 passing yards. Like we said, bounce back game for the Broncos. The Giants have the 4th worst passing defense as far as giving up yardage goes. This rolls into another prop we have, but give me Bo here. I took him a couple weeks ago on like kind of a similar kind of bounce back spot against a bad passing defense. Am I convinced Bo Nix is a great passer at this point? No, but I do think in Sean Payton's offense against the Giants, he's going to clear 218 for us this week for sure. Someone's got a Cortland Sutton, though. Let's just move into that because it's related.
Yeah, that's me. Over 54.5 receiving yards. The Giants have given up this number to not one, but 2 different receivers per game for 4 of the 6 games this season. Going back to week 8 of last year, Sutton has cleared this number in 12 of 17 games, and this is the perfect script for him to bounce back and clear it again. He missed it last week. I think he missed it last week. I might be talking out of my ass there. Either way, I fully expect a bounce back week from Denver, like we already talked about. So go ahead and give me Sutton over 54.5 receiving yards.
Love it. All right. Stay, if you got one prop for us, tell us about it.
Yeah, I really want to have more, but I've only got one so far. I'm going to take Kyron Williams anytime touchdown. We mentioned this London game, the Rams and Jacksonville. Jacksonville's defense has been, quietly very good this year, especially considering how bad they were last year. The Rams are going to, I think be struggling at times to move the ball through the air, especially with Puka Nacua. Questionable. Do we know for sure if he's playing or what kind of role he is? I have not heard. Regardless, Kyron Williams, I think, is going to be super involved. He's scored a touchdown in half of their games this year. Yes, he only has, I think, 2 rushing touchdowns or 2 games with rushing touchdowns, but he's gotten in the end zone through the air as well. So I like how involved he can be in this offense. So go ahead and play that anytime touchdown at -120. It just feels like a pretty solid number.
Yep. I like that. I like that as well. All right. I'm going to move us. Mike and I are both on one. We're going to double up on here with the receiving yards for DK Metcalf over 63.5 receiving yards. And the Steelers are playing
the Bengals.
Bengals, thank you. Who are, I was like, the name is living. I'm like, all I know is that they're playing the worst pass defense in the NFL this week. That's not on a bye. So I'm going to go ahead and take DK on a Thursday night. I don't love betting Thursday night games, but over 63.5. Unfortunately, the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers have been much better than I expected. And this number actually surprised me how low it was for how bad Cincy's defense is. So that's why I like it.
On Fanatics, you can get it 60.5. So let's go ahead and do that instead of 63.
Absolutely.
Just shopping around for y'all.
I
don't have any. I don't have any picks. I want to be helpful in some way.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, the Bengals 4th worst EPA play per pass. He's gone over this number, or he's gone over 80 actually in 3 of 5 games. I think the Steelers are going to have the ball a lot in this game because the Bengals aren't going to get much done. The Steelers defense has looked a lot better, especially since they've been healthy the last 2 weeks. So I fully expect DK to just continue eating away at his yardage total from the future I took to start the season. And that's going to hit, and I love it. And then I'm also going to double down on DK Metcalf with an anytime touchdown at +135. Yeah. He has scored in every game since week 1 this season. And since he is allowing 2 receiving touchdowns a game right now. So that one feels like a really nice number at +135.
That's great. And Mike, you got one more for us to wrap us up.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs, give me over 72.5 rushing yards, -111. He's cleared this number in 3 of 5 so far. And one of the ones that he didn't clear it against was against Cleveland, who's currently the 3rd best rushing defense in the league. Now he's got Arizona. Arizona just gave up 123 to Jonathan Taylor. On paper, they're kind of middle of the road against the defense right now, but they've also played some very inefficient running backs. They played Zamir White in week 1, who was the Raiders leading rusher at the time. before Ashton Genty really got going. CMC didn't hit it, but he's only averaging 3.1 yards a carry. Same for Tony Pollard. Jacobs is getting roughly 19 to 20 carries a game right now. So to hit 100 yards here, I don't think it's going to be a challenge to get triple digits, but over 72.5 feels super safe against this defense right now. They kind of center the whole offense around Jacobs. So I'm just going to keep riding it, man. Minus 111.
That's great, man. I love a good Josh Jacobs prop. I feel like he's a regular on this segment. So let's go ahead and run it down. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube and Instagram. Go over RotoViz and check us out, and vice versa. Let's run it down. We have game picks first, and then we are going to move over to player props. Mike, why don't you kick us off with game picks?
Yeah, don't mind me editing our slide over here. Give me the Browns on the money line now at minus 135. Give me a parlay of the Chiefs minus 6.5 versus the Raiders, and Broncos on the money line versus the Giants at minus 122. And another parlay of the Patriots minus 2.5 against the Titans, with the Falcons plus 7.5 against the 49ers at minus 120.
All right, I'll take a money line parlay of the Bears and the Seahawks, both home teams, to get to plus 129. My other game pick this week is the Eagles to win at Minnesota. Just going to take them on the money line there. Stefan.
We're going to take the Seahawks minus 3 at home versus the Texans. We're going to take the Bucks plus 6 on the road at Detroit. And then finally, we're going to take that same Cleveland Browns money line minus 135 hosting the Dolphins.
Awesome. Player props. Mike, why don't you kick us off?
Give me Quinshon Judkins anytime touchdown plus 125. Quinshon Judkins over 84.5 rushing yards at minus 110. Josh Jacobs over 72.5 rushing yards. DK Metcalf over 63.5 receiving yards. DK Metcalf anytime touchdown. And Cortland Sutton over 54.5 receiving yards.
I have Bo Nix over 218.5 passing yards. I'm also going to be on the Judkins touchdown and the DK yardage with Mike as well. And Stefan, you got one more for us.
Yeah, I'm going to take Kyron Williams anytime touchdown. And just a quick pro tip here. If you're betting player props, use a sports book that gives you the guarantee if they go out injured in the first half, money back. So that's like ESPN Bet does that. Caesars does that. DraftKings. No, Caesars does not do that. DraftKings does do that. So don't do player props on Caesars is what I'm telling you, especially if you're a crazy man like Mike and you're doubling up on players. Like if Quinshon Judkins gets hurt in the first quarter, you want that money back.
Yeah, most people would also recommend that you don't double up on players too. So take that for what it's worth. But also do it because these are going to slash.
Yeah. But this is a good tip too, though. Like when you see us like really heavy on Quinshon Judkins and DK Metcalf, we're playing them in DFS this week.
Oh, yeah.
Almost always. All right. We will talk to y'all later. That's how we're going to make money this week. We'll see you over at the college football episode.